All right, good morning, everybody. Can I get a thumbs up that you hear me and see the board okay? Okay, before I send you to either work on your homework or the study plan that is now available, let me just give you guys another heads up that I am not here on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is tomorrow will be our last Google Meet for the week. You can still reach me if you need me. Remind will be the best way, but I will be away with my family. So you'll just be working on your study plan and taking your quiz on Friday. So you have from today until quiz day to get your 6 out of 11 mastery points, all right? Let me just go over one more log problem with you before I send you on your way though, okay? All right, so guys, if you look at this one says, psychologists sometimes use the function L of t equals A times 1 minus e to the kt to measure the amount L learned at time t. So they are taking the amount that you learn and showing it as a function of time. So the amount that you learn depends on the time you've put in, which makes sense, all right? Here, A represents the amount to be learned, and the number K measures the rate of learning. Suppose that a student has an amount A of 200 vocabulary words to learn. So they're basically telling you 200 is going to go in for capital A. That's the amount of words this student has to learn, all right? A psychologist determines that the student has learned 20 vocabulary words after 5 minutes. So basically, if you look at this function, we have 3 variables, A, K, and T. Because remember, E is not a variable. E is the irrational number. He is the limit of 1 plus 1 over n to the power of n, right? He's approximately 2.718, all right? So I know I'm going to be able to plug 200 in for A. Time is normally who we will be plugging into this function, but K, the learning rate, wasn't given to us. But guys, what they just told us is we know he learned 20 vocab words after 5 minutes. So they're giving you enough information to find out what his K is. What is this student's learning rate? So in part A, they say, determine the rate of learning K, round to 4 decimal places. So guys, let's take our function, L, this will be part A, of t equals, we're going to plug 200 right away in for A, because we know that's the amount of words that this student has to learn, times 1 minus e to the negative k times t. All right, guys, they just told us that after 5 minutes, when t is 5, he will have learned 20 words. So that means when 5 goes into this function, a 20 will come out. That will be the amount he learned after 5 minutes. So we know L of 5 is equal to 20. We know after 5 minutes, he should have learned 20 words. So now let's plug 5 into this equation, set it equal to 20, and we'll be able to solve for that K, for that learning rate. All right, so we're going to say 200 times 1 minus e to the negative k times, we know time is 5 minutes. We know 5 minutes has passed. And then that should equal 20. We know 20 words should be learned after a time of 5 minutes. So now we have to solve this equation for K, for this student's learning rate. All right, first of all, let me clean this up. 200 times 1 minus e to the negative k times 5 is negative 5k. That's just going to annoy me. Equals 20. All right, so guys, we have to solve for K. Notice where K is. K is up in that exponent. This is an exponential equation. So who should solve an exponential equation for us? A logarithm. All right, here we go. Let's isolate this exponential though. Let's divide the 200 away. All right, now I'm going to have 1 minus e to the negative 5k equals 2 over 20, that's 1/10. 1/10, 0.1, whatever you want to put. Now, let's isolate this exponential. Get that negative e to the negative 5k by itself. So let's minus 1 away. Now I'm going to have negative e to the negative 5k equals 1/10 minus 1 is negative 9/10, negative 0.9. All right, let's keep getting that exponential function by itself. Remember, only e is being raised to the negative 5k. If they wanted negative e raised, they would have had to use parentheses, and they didn't. So divide the negative away, because he's not what that exponent is on. And then you get e to the negative 5k equals positive 9/10. Well, here it is, guys. What are we going to do? Are we going to sit here and plug and chug k values until we figure out e to what power gets the closest to 9/10? No. We have to undo this base e exponential function. And who's going to undo a base e exponential function? A logarithm base e. So we're going to log base e both sides. We're going to natural log both sides. All right, natural log base e to a base e exponential, they cancel. You're left with negative 5k, which equals whatever the natural log of 9/10 is, which, guys, it's a really ugly decimal, and we don't want to round it, so leave it as the natural log of 9/10. We'll round our final answer. We don't want to round yet. And then the only thing you have left to do to find out this learning rate, this k value, is to divide everything by negative 5. And now k will equal whatever the natural log of 9/10 divided by negative 5 is. So now we'll ask our calculator, what is this number? It's going to be a wild decimal, but then we'll round our final answer to 4 decimal places like the problem asked. Now, guys, please make sure that when you take the natural log of 9/10, either hit enter and then divide by negative 5, or make sure that you have 9/10 in parentheses so that when you divide by negative 5, it's not inside the logarithm as part of what you're taking the log of. All right, if you do that, you should find out that k is about 0.0211. When you round that to 4 decimal places, it's about 0.0211. And hopefully you're double checking that on your calculator to make sure you're typing things in correctly. All right, so we have finally found what this student's learning rate is. So now we already have 200 in for capital A. Now we can plug 0.0211 in for K. And now we'll have a usable, workable formula. All right, so now we have L of T will equal 200 times 1 minus E to the negative 0.0211T. That is the formula we are going to be able to use now. So now, when a time goes in, a amount learned will come out. So guys, we had to do all of this just to get a usable K value for that formula. Is everybody okay? Everybody good? All right, here we go. Now it should be smooth sailing. So now in part B, it says, approximately how many words will the student have learned after 10 minutes? Guys, plug 10 minutes in and see how many words come out. Now you're just finding L of 10. So if you find L of 10, plug 10 in for T and hit enter on your calculator. So it'll be 200 times 1 minus E to the negative 0.0211 times 10 and hit enter. I put the parentheses around the 10 and then I close it with a parenthesis as well. And I literally type this into my calculator exactly the way it looks. And we're going to round to the nearest whole word. Will this fit on my screen? Can I show this? And if you don't know where the E button is on your calculator, please let me know because you're going to need that E button. Yeah, it won't let me show the whole picture. Hit enter, and you should get about 38.05. So 38.05, guys, what's the nearest word that he learned? 38 words. So after 10 minutes, he should have learned 38 out of the 200 words he's supposed to learn. And again, usually students struggle typing this incorrectly. So if you're not getting the right answer, please let me help you. All right, look at part C. After 15 minutes, how many words has he learned? So now plug 15 in, see what number comes out. So now you're finding L of 15. So we're going to do 200 times 1 minus e to the negative 0.0211 times 15, and then hit enter. And approximately how many words out of those 200 will this student have learned after 15 minutes? You should get about 54.3, which is about 54 words. Okay? Again, those two questions, they are strictly calculator questions. All right, thumbs up, everybody's okay? Last part? Okay, last part says, how long does it take for the student to learn 180 words? So guys, here's what we're talking about. We know what we want the result to be. We know we want him to learn 180 out of those 200 words. What we don't know is the amount of time it's going to take him to get there. What is the exponent in this problem is unknown. So who's going to solve for an unknown exponent? A logarithm. We're going to use a log to solve this one. So I'm going to erase this part just so I can do the last one. All right, so we need to know, we know that we want L of t to equal 180. We don't know the time. What time has to go in to make 180 come out? So take your equation, 200 times 1 minus e to the negative 0.0211 t, and set it equal to the 180. What time has to go into this function to make 180 come out? So now we have to solve for t, which is part of the exponent. All right, so let's work on getting this exponential by itself. So isolate the exponential function. All right, 18 over 20, again, that reduces to 9/10 or 0.9, whatever you want to write, because 0.9 is an easy decimal, doesn't need to be rounded. All right, let's work to get this exponential by itself. Let's minus 1. Right, equals negative 1/10 or negative 0.1. All right, let's divide this negative 1 in front, because again, he's not what that exponent is on. So now we're here. E to what power will equal 1/10? Well, again, unless you sit on planning here and plugging and chugging numbers for t until you get this to equal something close to 1/10, the only other way to solve this is who's going to undo this base e exponential of base e logarithm. So take the natural log of both sides. Right? A natural log base e of a base e exponential, cancel. And it equals whatever the natural log of 1/10 is. And then to get t completely by itself, I have to divide by negative 0.0211. And then we're going to round this. Let's round it to, I don't know, 3 decimal places. And you should find out that the natural log of 1/10 divided by negative 0.0211 is about 109. What did I get? 127 minutes. It's going to take about 109 minutes for him to learn 180 out of those 200 words. So again, this is how we use the log to solve the equation. If the exponent is unknown, then we're going to use a log to figure out that unknown value. All right, are you guys okay? Is everybody okay? All right, so like I said, today I finished section 4. So now you're gonna take a quiz on 5.3 and 5.4. So the homework from Friday I made due tomorrow night, so you still have time to work on that. And then the study plan is up and running. You are good to go. You have all week. I'm gonna give you tomorrow in class. I'm gonna give you Wednesday, Thursday, everything to do the study plan. And then Friday's your quiz. And as long as your study plan is done before the quiz will be available. All right, everybody all right? Let me double check the attendance. And if you guys want to go start working on a study plan or finishing up any homework problems, you're going to be free to do so.